Okay, shut up and listen. You want your enemy to advance against a wall of lead. You hear me? Okay? Okay, so that if he gets to my gun's empty because I just shot at him a lot. Okay? Anybody got any questions? Yeah.
Are you trying to imitate Clint Smith?
No. Any other questions?
If you don't stop imitating me, I'm gonna stab you right in the heart, okay?
Whoa,
yeah. Okay, any other questions? All right, let's move on.
Yeah, that was
All right, hey folks, I'm here at Thunder Ranch with the legendary Clint Smith. Will you own legendary?
I'll live with it if that's what
Just
you call it.
Just own it. Be like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Legendary. No, seriously. So incredible history, a Vietnam vet, and actually did a lot in Vietnam. Real noteworthy, shooting and being shot.
Yeah.
Being shot. That was fun.
That's the Enemy Marksmanship Award.
Good time. That's the award I don't care to get.
Yeah, right.
10 years as a cop. You were the operations officer for Jeff Cooper.
Yes, the gun sight.
For a number of years,
Right.
and then you've been. I think he's been training other people in firearms for about 283 years. 200.
Yeah, give or take. I've owned my own business for 35 years, but I've been teaching in one form or another for 50.
Holy cow. All right. Anyway, so when I said legendary, it wasn't a hard sell. It was like, yeah, all right, I guess he got legendary. So that's pretty good. So Clint's famous for angry wisdom. And if you follow him on YouTube or Instagram or whatever social media outlet, you hear him just kind of angrily ranting, and it's just pure wisdom. Why are you angry? And
I'm not really. I'm not always like really angry in the sense of someone like they're aggravated. My deal is I think that it's important that people grasp that what we're teaching is them to fight. Okay, and we get a lot of people who are not in that mode. It's just like most people, you know, like on chat rooms, forums, and blogs, their biggest fight they've ever been in is to get the bed sheets off. Okay, and yet they'll claim to be, you know, like they call them mall commandos or something like shopping mall commandos. But I'm not actually angry. I think I have a job. I think I have a purpose, and I think my job and purpose is to save people's lives. So sometimes people need a kick in the ass. They're just sort of slow starters, and they don't mean to do poorly. I don't think anyone would go to anything like you and I would do, like schools, and like, there used to be Pat Rogers, another famous guy, legend, passed now, but held in high regard, and he always had a hat for the class that said that guy. In other words, the dipshit mode. And so I kind of don't really care that much for that guy mode. I need people to get their head out of their ass and understand that the most dangerous thing in the fight is not their tool. They got like a 380 that's pink and they think they're really good to go. Not true. I think the deal with it is I'm not angry like in the sense of like I'm pissed off at you. I'm angry because people don't grasp the reality of what's going on. Like sometimes, with no disrespect intended or implied, you'll get a lady in a class and she goes, I don't think I could shoot anyone. Oh, geez, all that crap. And I go, that's great. But the deal with it is you have children. Yes, okay. If someone was going to cut your kid's throat, would you shoot them? Sure. So everyone has a lever. The key is it's very hard to learn new shit in the middle of a fight. Yeah. So you're going to have to like be tuned up. And so the angry thing that people think, yeah, sometimes I do. You and I've talked a little bit about like the holster thing where I kind of went on a rant. And some people go, if a guy took the gun out of my holster, I'd kick his ass. Well, probably not. I mean, almost everybody in the classes today can kick my ass. That's nothing unusual. I'm like an old guy. But at the same time, the reason I took the holster away is because it was a stupid-ass holster. And the guy was either going to shoot himself or shoot somebody else. And then, of course, he dressed like he was going to, some sort of snow festival. So he looked like a little snow bunny with this stupid-ass holster. So I took the piece of shit away and threw it away. But the other side of the story that people don't know is that I immediately got him a brand-new holster that belonged to me, and I gave him the holster.
That's awesome.
So, like, when I tell people, hey, I want a holster, and I want a holster to fit the belt, and I want the mag pouch is this, and one gun is one, and that's, for you and I, someone using a proper holster on the range is self-defense. Right. It's like when I go inside the house and I wear armor. I'm not wearing the armor because I'm afraid of getting shot. I'm afraid of them clipping the door frame, and I'm not afraid like in the sense I'm scared. I just think that injuries defeat the purpose of training. So the deal with it is people go, well, you're always pissed off. I'm not pissed off. I'm actually a pretty nice guy. I own a goose. I mean, how bad can I be?
I saw his goose. The goose is awesome.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's
kind
probably
of
probably a velociraptor.
I mean, it was nice. All right. It's cool meeting you, but the goose.
Yeah.
The goose is better. Is that okay to say? Because
absolutely.
you're great, but
the goose is awesome, though. I mean, every day he gets bigger, and one of these days he's going to open a can of whoop ass on everybody. Okay, because geese are probably the last thing you'd want for a pet. But I kind of go perfect. Angry Clint and a pissed off goose. What better be?
It's a match in heaven.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah. So it becomes and besides, it was the deal with the goose that people. If you don't know anything about geese, which I don't know a lot about geese, but I do know that when geese sort of see the first thing that's moving, they imprint on that. Mm-hmm. And so, the goose is sort of imprinted on us. And so, your kids took them for a walk today. And
yeah,
kids
hilarious.
Were running. Yeah, okay.
We're going to roll some footage.
I think John Jr. was running, and the goose was, right there after him, And the goose was learning how to stretch out his wings. And, I don't know. That may be enough about the goose. But he's still awesome, dude. I mean, I have no intention of having him be a pet goose in the sense of like you'd get a dog. I'm just trying to protect him long enough that he can be big enough, or she can be big enough to go find other goose, and then they can do gooses and fly around. You know what I'm saying? So we're just protecting them. That's all.
Cool. The angry wisdom, I think it resonates. It resonates with me at least. It's kind of like, I'm just my generation, younger folks are just so inundated with spam and fluff and political correctness. It's kind of like I want somebody to just pull up a seat, somebody that's been there, done that, and had a few more black eyes than me and can warn me and just shoot me straight and give me some good wisdom. And so I find it refreshing. I think that's part of why just a whole lot of your audience flocks to you, because you just tell them that. So I think a lot of younger folks are thirsty for hard-hitting wisdom and mentorship. So want to speak to mentorship and wisdom
I think
in general?
it's a really good thing. I mean, the idea that people would come, and I not long ago, I'll give you a clue, this is interesting to me, and there might be a message here. Detectives would call it a clue, but I, did a class last year, and one of the guys in the class, he had been a student of mine at Gunsight, so that we're talking 1982. And then one of his sons had been a student of mine in Texas. We're talking 1997, 8. And so when they came, they brought the father's son. So in other words, I had 3 generations. I had grandfather, father, and son. So maybe I've been doing this too long, and or the idea that, we want people to understand that, if people talk about families, it's like one of my least favorite things is when people go, well, if you get that, that's something else for your toolbox. I don't need a toolbox full of shit, okay? I don't need all this ninja shit. I need rock solid, I know my equipment, I'm gonna carry my gun more than I'm gonna shoot the gun, so that means I need a stable platform. Everybody watching this, okay, how many times have you been in a physical fight? Part of fighting is being on the ground. Most people are not Muhammad Ali. Most people are more like MMA, so MMA is awesome. I mean, it was way after my generation, but the reason I liked it is because I always told people, they go, hey, I'm going to punch this guy out. No, you're not, okay? Very rarely does someone get knocked out, okay? And I got it, but it's actually a reality of what's going to happen to us on the street, which is you're going to get punched, like you said, you're going to get a black eye, but you're going to roll around in the dirt. So many fist fights turn into gunfights. So then the ideology needs to be, okay, when I'm teaching people, I need for them to have a stable gun platform so that if I'm rolling around the dirt, I'm not shooting myself in the dick, okay, or blowing my ass off, when I'm trying to get this gun out. Then we need to make people smart in the mentorship program where people are smart enough not to place a semi-automatic pistol against the trunk of the, and that people go, well, if this guy is laying on top of you and you're choking the shit, he's choking the shit out, you are going to do everything you can to get him off of you. Yeah. And so now it becomes a cross between jiu-jitsu and street fighting and, knife fighting and gun fighting. And people go well, what do you know about knives? I know enough about knives that I stay away from them. Yeah. I know enough about knives. If you pull one on me, okay, and start at me, I'm probably going to shoot you, okay? Knives never run out of ammo, okay? And usually most of the people carrying them have some idea, especially, if you see a guy standing with the gun pointed at his foot and his finger on the trigger, I'm not really, I got it. You know, is he dangerous? Sure. But if you see, you know, somebody, the worst knife in my opinion, and there are many knife experts, but the worst knife for me is the one I can't see.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, when somebody's carrying, for example, a blacked out knife compared to a shiny knife, blacked out knives are better. Yep. You don't see them. And 60% of our shit takes place in low altered or failing light. Yeah. So I might not pick up on that. So right. I like the mentorship, and that I'm hoping that we're helping people. Just like you. You know, the deal with you is yeah, we do it. We take money, both of us. But we don't do it for the money. We do it because we love it. The money is like the residue of being a mentor. Yeah. And you know, like, you know, you've come, you've seen, we'll probably put it on film. You've seen my classroom. When people drive in here, they know that we expect them. Yeah. The classroom's set, the stuff's squared away. We're ready to go. And we're ready to do that mentorship to help people realize that, hey, you know, we actually do give a crap. Now I need some investment on your part, besides money.
And we also would like to make that paper so we can make it rain.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can't. You can't.
Sorry,
no.
It was so serious. I'm like, what's the dumbest thing I could say right now?
This guy. Yeah.
And I wanted to bring like this hip vernacular that I don't even embody, that doesn't even belong to me. I'm like, I'm just going to throw it at Clint and see what he does. But you took it in stride.
Yeah.
The cameraman's laughing. Yeah. Watch, YouTube's just silent. Like, what
the hell was that? What did he just say?
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's another thing that's another thing that's a problem in this industry today. Okay, and this concept or this ideology, people are way too serious. Yeah. We need to lighten the hell up on this, okay? Most people watching this are never going to be in a fight. That could be because they went to school with us and learned something. Yeah. Or that could be because even statistically, I think, in the like average cop be in one gunfight in his career. So in 20 years. Now, if you put a second Ranger tab on and you start wandering around Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure that you could like take that fuzzy and get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for, his is much better than mine. Okay, Jack doesn't have one at all, but mine's white and his. It won't be long. I'll be gone. His will be white. Okay, and his kids will have grandkids.
It's already starting. So I did a video not long ago, and the followers, my subscribers, followers, they're awesome. And there's a few of you guys suck, and you know that. Right. But anyway, this was everybody. This is everybody on the channel picked on me, and they should have, because I did a video and I had one glow-in-the-dark white hair. Right, and nobody heard anything in the video. And when I watched it over, once I saw that white hair, I'm like, dude, I can't hear me at all. That's so distracting.
So they got tweezers.
It's coming. So I've got like 5 or 6 in there.
Yeah, there's more on the way, baby. Oh. Okay, there's more on the way.
I named the first 2 after my kids. So it's their fault.
John Jr. and Judo, right?
That's right.
That's awesome.
So before we started filming, I was just kind of hanging out with Clint. We were getting to know each other, and you started to say something about dads when we were talking about mentorship and wisdom, and I stopped you. I'm like, whoa, stop. And it was kind of disrespectful. I didn't mean it that way.
No, I get it.
I was like, whoa, save it for the camera. And he's like, okay. Yeah. So dads.
Dads. I think the thought was in my mind's eye is like, I'm 69 now. And if I could do something, you know, people go, okay, what's your, what do they call that? Bucket list shit or something, bucket of poop or whatever. Anyway, I'd like to have, speak to my dad for 5 minutes. And my dad passed, of course, in 1997. But I don't think that I would go, hey, Dad, what about this? You know, what's the story of life? Yeah. I would think I would go, hey, Dad, you know, you already paid the interest on the loan. Yeah. Why don't you just sort of let go of stuff from the past? Just be cool. You know, I want you to go into the next world, whatever that is, whatever people's beliefs are. I want you to go there peacefully. I want you to be at peace. You know, you worked hard all your life. You raised great kids. There were 4 of us. You didn't have any chicken rapists. You know, we have like none of us beat our wives. Okay.
Wait, chicken rapists?
Yeah. Well, nobody wants a chicken fornicator.
No, you're right.
That's probably a beep in there somewhere.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's an epidemic.
There'll be a day when
if you know some, report them.
What am I? You know, you go, oh, what are my sons? Are they chicken fornicators, or you know, do they beat their wives? So, anyways, the point was I'd like to speak to him and like have him be at ease when he goes into the next life. You know, I mean, you can always say, hey, Dad, why didn't I buy a Corvette? He doesn't care about that. Neither do you. There's a lot of shit important in life, but most of it is not that important. You know what I mean? So
What would you, now let's turn
Yeah.
it around. Everybody wants to spend 5 minutes more with their passed away father. What if you could speak to 25-year-old Clint? You only got like 2 minutes. You can time travel, grab young Clint by the shoulders and be like, listen up, punk.
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
farther. So here's the drill. I'll go back a couple more years. I remember that when I was 18, I went, after I graduated from high school, because I wasn't a very smart dude. I kind of got thrown out of high school, sort of. I remember very vividly that when I was 18, I always kind of thought my dad was a pain in the ass. And again, he was a 25-year street cop, so, you know, they're born again hard. I mean, they're tougher than woodpecker lips. Okay, so, like, this guy is bad to the bone. I mean, he's been there, you know, he's got it going for himself. And so what I realized, shortening it up to 2 minutes, is that when I came back from Vietnam, I was surprised how smart my dad was. I thought, damn, dude, I've been gone 4 years. This guy must have went to MIT. He went and got himself a Rhodes Scholarship. Oh, man, he's really smart. So the point of it is my dad has always been a pretty smart guy ahead of time. I was the jackass. So it's that evolution of growing up, and people always growing an old guy. I think, you know, like I have a friend of mine, and we'll just say his name is Harry, which it is. But when his daughter turned 18, she went to Israel and spent 2 years in the IDF.
Yeah.
And made her a different person. And then when his son just recently turned 18, you know, he spent 2 years in the IDF. And people go, well, you know, I got it. But that 2 years made a significant difference in the way his children, who are now young people, how they behave, how they handle themselves with other people. In other words, I think that you don't need to go, you know, shoot people. I mean, there's a funny one, because you'll get it. Of all the people you know, I mean, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are about 4,500 rangers in all the rangers in the planet. About 1,500 of those are price support people.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay, great. So we'll say there are a nominal 3,000 rangers, okay? I'm telling you, not every one of those guys has been in a gunfight, okay? You know, just like people, I love people who go like, whoa, when I was in Vietnam, I was ambushed 6 times. No, you weren't. You'd be dead, dude. If it was if it was an ambush, everyone dies, okay? And it's just like when the Marines went into Fallujah, you know, when you tell someone 2 weeks ahead of time that you're gonna come in, and now they put like a propane bottle behind every door hinge, and I mean, all this shit that do, you're gonna pay for that.
Right.
So people go, well, the Marines didn't do very good, or whatever branch of service. You know, the United States didn't do very well. Well, if you tell someone that I'm gonna burn your house down, I'm gonna get a gun, stand outside when you come out of the torch, and shoot your ass, okay? And or at least I'm gonna get a fire hose ready. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the stuff. So I was surprised at how smart my dad got in that time I was gone. So,
I definitely agree, because, I mean, growing up, I mean, clearly my parents were brilliant and they knew everything, and you listen, you learn everything. I'm teaching my kids, they're, you know, 4 and 5 years old, and literally everything. We teach them everything. So we're brilliant. We know everything. But then from the time you're about 15
Pain in the ass.
to 24,
You're a dick.
You're a human wasteland of stupidity, and you'll never feel like you're smarter and know more. And you'll think your parents are morons. Maybe your parents are morons, but you're dumber, and you'll be like 26 until you realize it.
So the point of this is, you know, if someone said to me there would be mandatory service of some kind, I don't give a shit. Go out, pick up trash, you know, go in the Army, you know, try out for Rangers, get your tab, you know, whatever. I think there's a time frame there. That's part of the problem we're dealing with now. So like we have the Parkland thing. It's a terrible tragedy. I understand. Okay, but like if you're ever going to get a clue that someone was going to go off the hinges, there's a good example. Now we have an ass clown, pimple-faced knucklehead, okay, who just barely got out of high school, who's telling me I need to turn my gun in. I have 50 years of service to my community and my country.
Yeah.
I've never done anything wrong. No chickens, no bank robberies, no wife beating, no traffic tickets. I mean, I'm like, yeah.
You sure about those chickens?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I don't know about the chickens, you know. Yeah, I have a chicken thing, but I'll get in a lot of trouble. So anyways, the point of it is I'm kind of irritated that I have someone that basically no intellectual basis or foundation telling me what I can own and not own on a personal level. Now, if I'm out on the street, shooting out street lights, butt naked, you got a chicken, whatever, okay, then yeah, I got it, haul them off. But you know, I kind of behaved all my life.
Sure.
You know, so that's kind of part of this deal when people, well, we're going to outlaw. Well, You do what you got to do. I mean, if you say I can't have like a magazine with a bunch of bullets in it, doesn't matter. I already know how to load a single shotgun. I mean, that's the difference. Everyone else is whining about like, well, you know, and I got a trapdoor Springfield just like they would have got off the horse with it, the little bighorn. I can shoot the hell out of that gun.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's again repetition and competency with the equipment you have.
Right.
You know, so, and you know that.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching and you're kind of those college age and you feel picked on and you're white knuckling
right.
toward me and you're all pissed off because of what we're saying. Shut up, man.
Well,
listen to me.
get a chicken.
It's not that. It's not that you're saying you're stupid or
you're really nice people.
Your IQ is way down. What we're basically saying is when you're 28, you're going to be thinking a lot differently, seeing the world a lot differently, saying a lot of stuff differently. You'll be embarrassed what you were absolutely certain of when you were 18.
Here's a good concept, like Tom Hayden.
Easy is
Yeah,
all we're saying.
So like
right?
Tom Hayden, thank God I outlived him. But Tom Hayden, okay, he was part of the SDS, Students for Democratic Society, all that shit in the 60s and 70s. You know, he was like hooked up with Jane Fonda, whatever. Okay, so this guy, America sucks. Next thing you know, he's a California senator flying around in a Learjet, okay, telling everybody. So wait a minute. I thought so in other words, you're in favor of like protecting the environment as you drive up in your Learjet, jackass.
Yeah. How is that possible that one of the...
It's America.
I know, but how did it get there where all of a sudden what it means to be American is to be anti-American? Nothing's more American today than being anti-American.
And my only question is, why is everyone trying to come here if this is such a shithole?
That's a great question.
Trust me, I got news for you. We've been in shitholes.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Jack, the camera guy, he's been in a shithole, like walking in somebody's house as a cop, where you walk outside and rub your feet on the grass to get all the shit off, okay? Yeah. So like, yeah. So the deal with it is it's easy to run your gums when you're not contributing anything. And that's my whole point with like the Parkland thing. I'm interested and I think you're entitled to your opinion. Yeah. That's why we're Americans, okay? You know, all that stuff that we've done, that was so that you could speak your mind, okay? Duly noted. I only have one question. What has been your contribution to this country? Yeah. Okay, so there's a guy that used to write books. His name was Robert Heinlein. You know, he's the one that came up with an armed society as a polite society. You know that you're a poet guy, okay? But he also, like, there was some merit, you know, in his thought process. Like, people watch Starship Trooper and they go, oh, it's guys in big guns killing bugs. Okay, put the bugs aside. The actual point of the movie was that you can't be a part of this society without contributing something. Yeah. This shithead hasn't even paid any taxes yet. Yeah. And so I'm really not interested in that jackass's opinion. So,
but I know, but how do you feel about it?
Well, that's probably an angry rant. I just think he's a jackass.
No,
okay,
it's made you famous. It's
well, like
flavor.
I said,
I'm here, I'm wise, and would be angry about it.
Yeah, well, he's entitled to his opinion. That's why he went to Afghanistan, Iraq too. Yeah. So he went to Afghanistan and Iraq 50 years ago. I went to Vietnam. Oh, that was a shit war. Well, we know that. Everybody knows it, okay? So we were looking for WMDs that didn't exist. The Gulf of Tonkin didn't actually happen. So, like, let me get this right. I could have been at home doing the hoochie coochie with the chick in the backseat of the car. I didn't have to be.
Did you just say chicken in the backseat?
No, it could have been chick. Did I say chick?
You said chick. Did
okay.
you mean
no,
chicken?
No, I meant it wasn't a chicken, okay? So I have a rubber chicken, though. That's very
Don't say that.
Okay, yeah. So anyways, y'all get it. So a lot of things that we've done that we believe are proper things by our standards, okay, those things turn out in the end to be a lie. And, you know, how do I qualify or quantify that, okay? I do that by saying that in the day, if he had been behind a dune, I'd have been behind a dune. So when I'm there, I don't actually care what his politics are or everyone else. My job is to take care of my partner, okay? So in my personal opinion, the military, especially in a technical or tactical application, is more about taking care of the people that you're with. Yeah. You know, you and I talked about, what do they call inter-service rivalry. Yeah. What a bunch of jackasses. He said out of his own mouth, this guy, Army Ranger, okay, he said some of the best air cover he had was from Marine Air. And I absolutely
without
agree.
question.
Okay,
it's because they would fly like in the streets. You could,
yeah.
if they held their hand out, you could high five them in the streets.
Yeah, they got curb feelers on those bitches.
The lower rotary flies for cover when you're in an urban environment, the more it makes the enemy's head stick down or stay in their windows, which means they're not shooting you in the streets. But the more danger it is for the pilots because Black Hawk Down stuff. So anyway, Marines were absolutely fearless, just in that. And the other best pilots ever had for air support was the Brits. The Brits were just kamikaze.
Those are crazy.
They were nuts, and I loved when Brits gave air support. So they were the best.
Bad men.
Here, speak to this real quick. You know, Marines have always looked up to armies, kind of like big brothers.
I understand.
What could the Marines do to kind of just
be given some more money so they get good equipment and quit getting all the hand-me-downs from all
right,
the
right now. So everybody's so proud of their branch, and Marines are too. And yay,
so here's why I have I have no inter-service rivalry, because, like, in March 28, 1969, I got in the way and kind of got the enemy marksmanship award by getting shot. Wasn't a brilliant move, but shit happens. So the next morning, because we couldn't really do anything that night, you know how that goes. Yep. Nighttime's bad. In the morning, Army helicopter came and got me. Awesome. And I liked that ride. I was hooked up. It flew me right to the hospital, ship Hope, Navy. Okay. And they gave me boo-boo bunny band-aids and washed my butt and all that kind of stuff and got everything cleaned up. And then they took me off of the boat on a barge to Naval Support Activity at Da Nang, and I got flown from there by the Air Force. Yep. Woo! The dudes in blue. Yep. I got flown to Iwakuni, Japan. So I can't really have a case of the ass for anybody. You know, one guy came and got me, one guy gave me a ride, and one guy gave me an airplane ticket. And I was like, it was living the dream, baby.
It's stupid. And if any of you Marines are watching, and you're like, dude, that guy's unsubscribe. How dare you?
Take a pill.
Joke, dude. Joke, bro. Yeah. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't joke
hook,
with
bird,
you.
and ball. Okay, so take your hook and throw it overboard and follow it down with the chain.
That's awesome.
Okay, get over.
Yes, we're at Thunder Ranch right now.
We certainly are.
That's Clint's training ground. It's beautiful out here in Oregon. And guys, if I could encourage you to train with Clint, you should really do that. He's got amazing classes and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put links below in the video description so that you can check out his training page, also his social media links and whatnot. And make sure you're following him, because he's got great wisdom. But you need to meet him. You need to make the journey out. I'll be teaching a Pistol 2 tomorrow, and he's going to be helping me teach that. And then he's going to be doing a shoot house home defense type thing.
Yeah, we'll be working a little bit.
I'm going to be taking his
single man
class
tactics, which of course is bad. Don't do that.
But anyway, you got anything else you want to close out
I think
with?
it's good. Don't forget the Poets Society, because this dude travels. Okay, I kind of gave that up. I can't fly on planes anymore, too much sheet metal, so I get a cavity search every time I try to get on a plane, and it's not very pleasant. But he travels, like, he just came from the Portland area. That's a scenic shithole. And then he's going to, so you travel around a lot.
Yeah, they know me.
Yeah, you got this guy. So, let's see if I can give him another gray hair tomorrow, being a pain in his ass. But otherwise, we got a good group of people.
I'm gonna love it. I can't wait, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
They're rock solid, cool. So we'll be good at it. Yep.
Guys,
so I appreciate your time.
Yeah, sure. Train hard, train smart, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Yep.
Later.
Awesome.
Three, 2, 1, on.
Okay, check it out. If you're...
You can't do it in front of us. It ain't gonna happen. There's no way.
What is this amateur hour?
All right, we're hot.
Okay.